I saw some information online saying that the Sony FX-3 has gotten barely any pre-orders. I think in some places just like one pre-order, and in other places like absolutely nothing, which is completely out of character for a Sony launch. I'm not shocked by that. I mean, it did not get the best reception online. And of course, all things considered, comparing to what the competition has been releasing, Lumix S12, whatever, FX2 has been legit underwhelming. But to be honest with you, it's not just the fact that FX2 is underwhelming. It is the fact that the United States economy is not doing great, and filmmakers, videographers that would likely buy an FX2, maybe trade for an FX2, whatever, has some extra money laying around. We're all broke. I mean, not really broke, but like, we're not balling like we used to do. Since I began being a professional videographer, if I feel like being a douchebag, I could call myself a professional filmmaker. I started doing this stuff in 2014. 2016 was when I was truly professional.
Unprofessional.
And of course, probably, after the first year, I was consistently filming 25 to 30 weddings every year. And as I increased my pricing, as I got better, I started doing more like 17 to 20. Peaked at like 41 weddings, 2020, 2021. The last time I raised my prices was 2020. And this year for 2025, I'm filming only 11 weddings. For 2026, I have none booked so far. And to be honest with you, everything else has been down as well, because I also do like corporate commercial stuff. My realtor usually contacts me to do like maybe like 10 listings every year. He has not reached out to me once this year. It has been rough on these streets. And, as I say this, I'm doing completely fine. We're doing fine, like my family and everything. Obviously, my wife, she works a full-time job as a nurse. My kids don't have any type of aftercare or daycare, pretty much because I work from home and all that stuff. I'm always home taking care of them. We don't have car notes and stuff like that. So we don't have that kind of pressure. Like our cars are paid off and stuff. So we don't have that kind of pressure. But I can't imagine how things are going for like other families where, that are less fortunate than me. And, obviously this wouldn't even be an issue if I was like a single D-bag chilling without, kids and mortgage and all that stuff. But, although we're doing fine, I still have to be able, I still need to stay ahead of the curve with wherever this industry is going, and it's not just me. Talking to other wedding filmmakers, corporate, filmmakers in the area, things are about the same, for them as well. Photographers, even like a makeup artist and stuff for in the wedding industry. People are being cheap, and rightfully so. If usually you have your parents helping you, pay for your wedding, and your parents' 401k looks like absolute dumpster trash, they're not gonna be able to help you as much. If your salaries haven't been going up, for the past few years, like people are probably making the same basic salary for the same job they were doing. Let's say like 5 years ago, the person doing IT was making like 100K per year. Today, they're still making 100K per year. Like their salaries haven't increased. However, pricing has increased everywhere else, especially imagine as a wedding couple, you got to book your venue and your caterer. And if your budget has not increased compared to couples back in like 2019, but the prices of catering and venue and everything else that you need to book prior to booking your photographer and videographer, of course, your budget towards the end is going to shrink. So by the time you book like a luxury item, like a videographer, you don't have much left. And on top of that, you have other options that are cheaper. There's content creators who pretty much follow you around with like a cell phone all day that could be cheaper. And there's these new videographers coming in, or, videographers that do not understand their value, videographers that aren't good at sales, videographers that are just not good at business. They are going to be charging like very low for a lot of work. And they might be able to do that for like 5 or 6 weddings. And then they realize, oh man, like I'm charging way too little for this. I don't think I am wrong by saying that the market for wedding filmmakers and corporate filmmakers is super saturated right now. Same as like photography. It's just like there is just not as big as there is a demand for video in small businesses and stuff with social media. A lot of these things could be just filmed with your phone. It's getting less and less like the quality of the actual video because you're going to get good quality out of like the average iPhone, the average Android phone. It's really the content that is being produced. If you're producing good content with decent enough quality, you're going to be fine. And whether it be in social media or like wedding videos, a lot of clients cannot tell the difference between like a high end and like middle of the pack and even low end videographer. They see slow motion, they see bokeh, they see that douchebag shit that we all know and love. They're going to think that's like professional. You call this prideful, ego, whatever. I think I'm one of the top wedding videographers, filmmakers in my market. And that's from my observations, but also from what people tell me, people who see my work, and that's what they tell me. But that doesn't really mean anything if clients don't really do the due diligence. Because in the past, when I was booking 20, 30 weddings a year, people were booking me based on just whether it be referrals, whether they just see a quick snippet and, they think it's good enough. I had clients paying retainers, signing contracts, and they haven't even really watched my portfolio yet. So, but then now when I do get an inquiry and they do book, it just takes them a lot longer. I have to explain a lot more. I guess in some ways I have to sell, but I don't do that kind of thing. Like I don't like to sell stuff. I put my work out there. If you like it, you book, great. But I'm not out here trying to sell. I'm not trying to upsell and all that stuff. That's not how I do things. That's not how I do things on my YouTube either. I haven't been taking sponsorships that I don't agree with or I feel like doesn't align with, my brand or, how I am as a person. I don't review and overly push things to make sure people click the links in the description and buy. I give my presentation and I let people know if I recommend it. And if they buy, they buy. Like I don't go any further than that. Also, I don't really present things in a polished way. So like all the brands that are looking for that kind of content creator, they're not going to get that from me. They're going to get like this dude who just turns his camera on. I got some good lighting and everything. But overall, I'm just speaking my mind to the camera. So I really don't know where this video industry is going to go. I mean, on one side, it seems like there's a lot more opportunities for videographers to like get into the game, start getting gigs and everything. But at the same time, I feel like the value of these gigs are going down. Clients aren't willing to pay when the market is extremely cheap. Gear is getting a lot easier. Gear is getting more affordable, easier to use. Like the barrier, the entry point to becoming a professional videographer is so much lower than it was today than it was just 2 years ago. Pretty much, I would say as soon as, late 2020 when the A7S III was launched, that camera completely changed the game, and every camera released after that has become increasingly easy to use. You're talking about autofocus, you're talking about great IBIS, gimbals being super cheap. I remember buying a June Weebill, sometime like 2017, 18 for like $700. Now you could buy like any gimbal for like $100. You could buy a used gimbal for like under $200, and that thing is going to do, the job for you. You could buy cameras under $1,000 with like a $200 Chinese lens and be shooting footage that look exactly like someone else with like a $5,000 setup. It's just facts. Like we could sit here and pixel peep, a GM lens versus the next Chinese lens. But the reality is, unless you're pixel peeping, like, you're just checking sharpness and all that stuff, and if you're just looking at videos on like IG, YouTube and stuff, you're not going to be able to tell if that thing was filmed with a G Master lens or a freaking like Yongnuo, $150, trash lens. Things are, that's just where it's going. And one could say that, well, yeah, I'm old, right? I'm like 41 and maybe like my videos are too old school or whatever. I personally feel like because of social media and stuff, I am keeping up with the trends. I am keeping up with what's popular out there. Like what younger, like for weddings anyway, like what younger couples under 30 would be looking for. And, just based on looking at other films, things are the way they are. I think it's just like I personally have seen dudes in my market charge nothing. And by nothing, I'm talking about like under 2 grand for like a full day of coverage, highlight video, 5, 6 minute cinematic highlight video, raw footage, whatever. And I'm charging a lot more than that. And then these guys are doing good work. And if I was like being, critical and really looking at, sure, I'm going to be doing a better job. Like there's certain things that I do that I notice as like more experienced person, my style, whatever. I could subjectively say that mine is better. But I feel like clients don't see that, the difference between someone a lot cheaper than me versus me, and even people a lot more expensive than me. So you could say, well, just lower your prices. It's a lot of work. And a lot of these guys who are charging cheap, they're not going to sustain this kind of pricing for a long period of time. It's just not going to happen. Believe me, when I first came in to the wedding, videography scene, I was still an accountant and I was still making a good salary doing that. And I figured, hey, I'll just start doing this stuff as a side gig. And like the rates that I was charging, even though it was cheap, it was good money, good side money. But like after a while, it's like, yo, like I need to charge more for this because it's a lot of work. Like not only the preparation, the actual filming of the day, but also like the editing and just if you're passionate, if you're serious about, your filmmaking, you're always going to want to do better. You're always going to want to edit better. So you're going to end up spending a lot more time on it. And the next thing you know, like you end up having to charge more. And something doesn't change. What we're going to have is just a cycle of new dudes coming in, going to charge little. The dudes who used to charge little and try to charge more. And now you just have this really saturated market of like everyone like in this middle above average price range. And people can just they're going to just keep hiring like the cheap dudes, like we got these Walmart ass film companies and, no offense to you guys doing that. Good on you for the hustle. But we're talking about like people booking 200-300 weddings a year, sending out random dudes, hiring them like a week before the wedding and outsourcing the freaking editing somewhere and, just doing volume. And bro, like I don't hire out people to do stuff. And even I feel the pressure of making sure I deliver. I can't imagine just sitting around a bunch of blokes, having it randomly edited by someone and just being okay with the couple's disappointment. Like unfortunately for me, I am a filmmaker, videographer, storyteller first, like businessman, third or fourth. Okay. You could see that from the way I present my YouTube videos. I present my video business the same way. It's like, hey, this is me. I'm a filmmaker and I'm going to do the best job I can capturing your stuff for you. This is what I charge. I'm not sitting here, doing a whole pitch. I've done that in college. I was doing that for Best Buy and stuff like that already. I worked at a bank. I was doing that, like getting people to sign up for credit cards and stuff. I've been doing that. I'm not trying to do that. It's like, it's so, something about being a salesperson and just trying to sell this, that, and the other is so douchey to me. And look, I'm still out here on these streets. I'm still trying to push, my client work. I'm trying to still get my bookings. I'm doing what I can. I've been doing SEO work for my website. I've been trying to post my stuff up more on Instagram, like doing the whole 9 yards, doing everything I can to like increase the chances of inquiries and stuff like that. But it's tough. Like I'm not trying to devalue my work. And at the same time, I'm not trying to upsell clients into buying my product when they might not be able to afford it. It might not be smart for them to do so. And like a lot of times when I'm like educating, clients, especially for weddings, and I give them my pricing and it's like too high, and we're talking about like it's double their budget. And I always tell them out of complete honesty, it's just like they might as well just put all that money towards something else, like maybe just hire like an even better photographer with that money, increase the photographer budget, and just skip video and just have like a cousin just record the entire ceremony on their cell phone or something. So they, at least they have that, because they will spend, I don't know, $2,000 on a wedding videographer on the low end, and they're going to get that film and it's just going to be like tacky. It's going to be a complete waste of their money. They might as well just invest it in something else, especially something that they intend to keep and watch and show their kids and everything. And if it's like a piece trash film, what the hell are they going to do with that? So, yeah, speaking of being a salesman, I don't know if you noticed here is I got some merch, and because I'm a piece of trash, I'm trying to sell my subscribers and viewers merchandise. I'm just kidding. I mean, because of these situations where, I'm going to be real, I have a certain following on my YouTube and my Instagram, and I have had people asking me about my hat and if I was going to be selling merch. So I really wasn't feeling like doing it. But I also realized that I do offer value in this social media market, whatever you want to call it, whether it be from entertainment, whether it be from just my knowledge and experience, my gear reviews, what have you. I do offer value, and I do need to do a better job of making money off of my social media. And I have been offered sponsorships before. We're talking about, I don't know, it's not huge or anything, but like $500 just to like do like an ad read in the middle of a video. And I denied it, because I don't want to sell something that I feel like I will never use. And I feel like maybe that company is not a good company. And I just don't want to do it. Even though it's pretty easy money, I just got to talk about it for like a minute and a half. So I'd rather not shill for random companies I don't care about. I'm going to just shill for myself. And because people were asking about merch, a lot of people were asking about my hat, shirts. Now I'm selling that. I have those now, with familiar catchphrases from the douchebag that always talks to me in my reels. Professional. I have award winning. I have all that stuff.
If you want to be professional, if you want to be award winning.
This is the original hat right here. This is the original hat that I just made only one, and I made for myself. And, it's a new era hat. Obviously, it's all branded. And this is completely embroidered, like the outline of the letters and the middle of the letter, the actual center of the letters is fully embroidered. And if I was going to sell this hat, if I was going to make this hat and sell it, it would be easily like over $60. Like I paid $50 just for this hat by itself. My cost on it was like $50. So it's the only one that I had, but finally I found through Fourth Wall, I think like MKBHD uses it also. They actually embroider hats, and the hat is embroidered, but it's not completely embroidered. It's just like the outline. So this one, even the middle is embroidered. This one is just like the outline, but even because the hat is black, it's fine. As long as it's embroidered, I'm happy with it. And it looks good, in my opinion, and it's not going to cost $60. It costs, you guessed it,
Only $29.99.
So that's my hat. I got shirts, sweatshirts, whatever. So if you want to help me out, you want to support me, this channel, I have merch. And that's about it. Another reason why I didn't want to get into the shirt game is because I had tried before, and like the shirt quality wasn't great. When I went to Sony Kondo, they gave me a Kondo shirt, and I really liked that shirt. And it was printed, and I was just always curious like where they got it done. So coincidentally, when I checked Fourth Wall, I saw they had the same exact brand of shirt. So I knew the shirt was actually good, and the printing is decent enough. So, at least you're gonna get a decent shirt with some of my bullshit on it. I don't know if y'all been noticing also, like I've been using this mic a lot. This is a Kamika VM40. It is a wireless mic, obviously. So, you have like a transmitter and then you have a receiver on your camera. But with the way I've been using it is I just been recording it directly into the mic itself. This thing has like an internal storage of 32 gigabytes or something like that. So I just been recording 32-bit float directly into here and I'm pretty satisfied with it. It's easy to use and all that stuff. Sounds good. Then the other day, I was editing a wedding film, and during when I'm filming weddings, I just use a small mic, Sennheiser mic right here, just sitting on top of my camera, as like a small shotgun mic. And I noticed, like, from far away, it would capture people's voices really clearly. Like, I think I was filming a first look and they were talking, and I was just like, wow, this audio is actually really good from this little mic. And I figured, it's pretty much the same thing. Like, I have it currently plugged into a DJI Mic 2 transmitter. So it's recording 32-bit float in here directly from this mic that doesn't need a battery or anything. So just trying to see exactly what it sounds like in studio, because this setup would be somewhere along the lines of $200, the mic and the DJI mic receiver. And of course, you could just use this transmitter as like a mic itself. Like a lot of people do that. Or the Kamika VM40, which is like $250. So we're talking about like the same basic setup, smaller, somewhat more versatile, and cheaper. So I'm just trying that out, seeing what it sounds like. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Other than that, guys, let me know how you guys are doing in terms of work, bookings, how things are going with your inquiries and all that stuff. In my end, and a lot of other people I've been talking about, whether it be weddings, corporate, whatever, inquiries have been a lot lower. And when there is inquiries, they either ghost after seeing pricing or take a very, very long time to decide. And then on top of that, taking very, very long to sign the dang contract. Like before, it used to be like really quick. And not only is the inquiries low, but the booking rate is low. You're coming from a guy who, we're talking about, I've been getting 10, 20% of the increase I used to get. And I used to get more increases before, and like the booking rate was probably like 90%. That means if I talk to 10 people, I'd book 9 of them. Now it's like I get an inquiry, it's like 50-50. So, let me know in the comments how everything's going with you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it provided you some insight. Hopefully it was relatable. And again, help a brother out. Hey, if you are doing well, if you're getting booked off the charts and you're making a shit ton of money, help a brother out. You know what I mean? Help me feed my kids, buy a hat, buy a shirt. You know what I mean? Till next time, lighten up.
Hey, man, what you doing? Bro, it's 1 a.m. in the morning. You make the shill video for free product? I don't know if I'd call it shilling, and technically it's not free. I don't mind taking products for review. As long as there's good value to it, I would actually use it, and I feel like it's a good recommendation. Sure, I'd feature it in one of my videos. Let me show you. It's the high quality microfiber towel for only $29.99. Bro, I am not reviewing a $30 microfiber towel on my YouTube channel. It's not $30. It's only $29.99. I don't care if it's $30 or $29.99. The cost for you to produce that microfiber towel was probably less than 29 cents. If you want to be the best, if you want to be professional, if you want to be award-winning shield tube doucher, you need to review this microfiber towel made with 90% hot cat skin. What'd you do with the rest of the cat? Okay, let me see. Let me show you. Oh my God.